I want to talk to anybody that's above 30 years old because there are plenty of people that are 40, 50, 60, and I think that is for you as well. But especially if you're 30, because I am 37. So it kind of applies to me, and it's kind of what I've learned throughout this because I want to convince you to start doing video and specifically YouTube because there are plenty of social media platforms out there like TikTok, Instagram, and you name it. But YouTube is the most powerful one, in my opinion, and we'll get into that later on why it's the most important. But really, I think that having a personal brand, and I've talked about this in a previous video that didn't really do well, so you probably didn't see it. But I talked about how this video could be about how having a personal brand and being imperfect and not being perfect person in the world of AI is going to bring you way better results in anything that you want in life rather than just being perfect. And this is true because no matter what your goal is on YouTube, whether it's to make a lot of money, which is fine to me if you want to, if that's your goal, then props. There's no bad reason to get on YouTube. And if that's the case, you will be able to make a lot of money if you manage to build a personal brand, build an audience, and have people that basically respect what you do, your work, and what you want to talk about. Whether you're learning something like me, when I'm learning how to be better on camera, how to grow a YouTube channel. That's the whole point of this YouTube channel, is just sharing my journey and just being better at this on my craft. And I'm putting a lot of time and effort into this. But I think there's a reason for this because once you start to go on YouTube for some reason, maybe it's financial, you want to make a living talking about something that you really enjoy, which for me is YouTube, and it could be something completely different to you, but just something that you enjoy. If you start talking about your cat and your dog, if that's what you enjoy, then props. I actually have this guy right here. I could be making videos on this, but that's not my goal. My goal is to grow on YouTube and learn how to grow an audience and tell people what it's like to build an audience. It's not always rainbows and sunshine. And I'll talk about, well, probably talked about this. I'm filming the video after this, but you'll see it before. And so that will be my analytics report, probably the previous one. But with this, there's a lot of positive things that come in that you probably didn't expect. For me, it would be comments. On some videos, the videos that do particularly well on my channel, there's people that leave comments, even some that don't do that well, but the videos that do well, they bring me a few comments, not just one or two. And that is something that I didn't expect. Now, did I expect to get some comments? Yes. If you start to make videos and they get views, you are going to get comments, right? But the comments that I get, I did not expect them to bring me so much happiness and joy. Every time I see that there's comments, even if it's one or two, but even more if there's a bunch of comments, they bring me so much happiness. Like, people are interested in the work that I'm producing, and you'll never know this if you don't start to create content. That people respect your work and believe in you, even when sometimes you don't even really believe in yourself. Because sometimes I have doubts, specifically like this week has not been a great week at all. The videos didn't perform well. I didn't get very much engagement. People weren't clicking or watching my videos. So it kind of brings me down a little bit. But when I get those comments that come in, and that just brings it all way back up, and I'm really motivated to start filming videos again. Even though I haven't stopped, like, my videos are still on schedule. I'm posting 3 times a week, but sometimes it's a bit more of a struggle to film, specifically this video. Like, it's been 3 days that I'm trying to film this video, and I couldn't just just couldn't get the courage to do it. But once you start getting those comments and the feedback and people, gaining subscribers, and, if people subscribe to the channel, then that's awesome. Like, that does bring a lot of joy as well. But specifically the comments, people like, but you'll never know this if you don't produce videos consistently. And if you're in your 30s or over, something that you have and that other people might not have is life experience. This a life experience that you're going to gain when you produce videos like this, or before you produce videos, I should say, that you could implement in your videos and talk about your life experiences. What took you to start talking about the specific subject that you want to talk about, and that's something that's interesting to me, and it might be interesting to you as well. So there's not just the financial part, which is great, but the engagement is to me the most important. But you could also, and I'm not at that level, you could, I'm not making any money from these videos either right now, but you could also be gaining access to people that you wanted to meet in some sort of way. And this hasn't ever happened to me, but I know for a fact that there are a lot of people that did this. Maybe it's your job, maybe it's just getting a better job by making videos. And there's plenty of people that went through this and gained a lot of knowledge. So there's a lot of things that just happen when you start creating videos, and YouTube is the most powerful one, because TikTok and YouTube, you post something and 2 days later it's gone. It's not really relevant anymore. But on YouTube it stays there. There's, you could post a video and 2 years after it's still getting views. Specifically if people are clicking on it, watching the whole way through, leaving comments and subscribing. But even then, like, people will watch the videos a long time after they've been posted. So that's something that's really awesome about YouTube. And because it's more long form, you can go deeper, you can show your personality, you can say what's on your mind, and it will just grow into a snowball effect, and people just connect with you a lot more. And with that audience, depending on what your goals are, if you want to make a living on YouTube, or if you want to gain access to people, or just share what's on your mind, or talk about a subject that interests you, you're going to be able to do that because it's YouTube and not something else. So I wouldn't focus on any other social media. In fact, I don't post on any other social media. Some personal stuff, but really not much. Like, the last time I posted was on another platform was probably months ago. So keep that in mind, and let me know in the comments what you think is the most important, for like the best reason to post on YouTube, because I believe that doing that is what builds a community, helping each other out. I'm not the biggest YouTuber out there, but there's probably reasons that I missed out that you probably think are relevant if you started a channel. Right now, you have to understand that YouTube is changing quite a lot, and you need to know what to do next in order to be able to survive on this change that's going on. So I would suggest you watch that video, or that one, because it will help you stay relevant in this day and age where YouTube is having the biggest shift it's ever had in its history. With that said, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.